Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special edition of Temple Talks Philly here on Whip Radio, Philly's #1 college radio station. Why is it special, you ask? Well, not only did the Flyers win yesterday, the series 1-1, but I'm your host, Andrew Salchunas, filling in for Moshe Kravitz on this lovely Monday. So instead of being outside in this beautiful weather, I get to sit in this box, but I am more than happy to be out here to talk about those Philadelphia Flyers. I'm here with Tom Sheehan and Amir Collier running the boards, just as usual. Bring us in. Flyers tying the series 1-1 in the Garden last night. That was absolutely huge for Philadelphia, and we're going to be talking about that for 2 segments today. It's a big topic all over Philadelphia, and we're going to hit on the Phillies a little bit, getting a win yesterday in Colorado. Ryan Howard coming so close to hitting for the cycle. Single and E9 keeps him away from the cycle. First one since 2004.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see him get the cycle. Rarely that I didn't get to see the game. I thought the error was on the triple. It's rare that he actually gets the triple.
No, Ryan Howard actually legging it out for the triple.
He's dropped some pounds, I think. He's like a little thinner.
Yeah, but his legs not moving. Yeah,
he switched from getting back into it. He got to the wheat bread now.
He went to stuff that had the yoga mats in it.
Yeah.
Ryan Howard looking pretty good. Say what you want. I mean, average is down, the strikeouts are up, but hey, he's got 4 home runs so far. What else can you ask for out of the guy? I mean, we all know he's got his injury issues, but Ryan Howard bouncing back. I want to give a sincere apology. There's a squeak to all the listeners. I woke up today. I feel like a train hit me today, so the voice is all over the place, up and down the level, so sorry. That was one squeak. You'll probably hear 100 more throughout the end of the show.
It's that time of year again.
It's that time of the year. I don't know if it's allergies. I can't tell you what it is, but I woke up today, and I slept with my window open last night. That might have been the issue.
It very well could have been it.
I think that's what it was. God,
all that damn pollen.
All that Philly air and all that pollen. So, now we're going to break down this Flyers game. The Flyers winning 4-2 at the Garden. It was a great game, except for that first period. Well, toward the end of the first period.
First 10 minutes of the period were stressful as anything.
I got to tell you the truth. I was driving to see my cousins in Doylestown, and after that second goal, I was about 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes away, like 10 minutes away from their house. After that second goal, I hit the power button on the radio. I couldn't listen to it anymore. I ended up being lucky. I get there right when the Flyers ended up scoring that goal. So, call me a bad Flyers fan. I don't care. I just couldn't listen to that. It was after that first game, giving up 2 goals early in the first period yesterday. That was tough to watch. But the Flyers bounced back, proved me wrong. So the playoff game. Guy's been all over the place, having a great career, and then that immediate reaction when he scored, I said, "Here we go again." Flyers,
it was bad.
It was bad. I mean,
I don't know. And off, was it Couturier's penalty?
Yep.
So it was your best penalty killer's penalty.
Well, that was the second goal.
The second goal.
The second goal. The first goal was Martin St. Louis, who made it 1-0.
My bad.
Goal 2,
my apologies,
which I was going right on to, scored 7 minutes into the game. Dan Girardi, first of all, before the goal was scored by Benoit Pouliot, but I want to give an Oscar nominee to Dan Girardi with that flop on Sean Couturier's quote-unquote roughing penalty.
Looked like some Spanish soccer out there for a little bit.
That was absolutely terrible. I mean, say what you want. Couturier, that was a dumb penalty. First off, the puck was out of the area. I mean, Girardi passed the puck off, and then Couturier kept on racing over to him and hit him.
Yeah.
So, okay, there was a little bit of a flop there. The flop action was pretty bad, but Couturier going after him in the first place, he deserved the penalty.
Yeah, you got to be more disciplined, especially in the beginning of the game. Towards the end of the game, hits have been happening a little bit after the whistle. The roughness has come up, so the referees will expect more of that, I think, towards the third period. First period, you got to really keep your nose clean, I think, and the Flyers struggled with that a little bit.
Right, and there have been a lot of dumb penalties throughout the series so far in these 2 games, and we're going to be talking about that later on because we've already seen Brent Seabrook of the Chicago Blackhawks getting suspended 3 games for his hit on the defender, against the St. Louis Blues. David Backes hits him facing in the wall, gets suspended 3 games. Flyers haven't done anything to that extent, but anything can happen the way they've been playing so far, and I'm happy. Jake Voracek scores his first goal of the series, his third career playoff goal. Goes right around Henrik Lundqvist.
It was a nasty one.
It was so nice. His speed flying down the ice. He looked great. I mean, the entire game,
held the puck out, was able to push himself away from the defender and just keep it out of the poke check reach out of Lundqvist and slip it past his right leg.
Right, and that was right before
the
first period ended. Flyers going to the second down 2-1. And then the second period happened, which was huge for Philadelphia. Just under 6 minutes into the second half, Flyers at the end of the power play tie the game up after Jason Atkinson scores on a rebound off of a Vinny Lecavalier shot. And I was loving it. Coming into the playoffs, I was telling everyone, Atkinson, he has to be on the playoff roster. I wanted the guy. I thought, this young guy who's just cocky enough to not really know the situation, goes in there. He's going to put up some goals. Game 1, he gets the double minor. All my friends coming up to me saying, Andrew, yeah, good call.
Good pick.
You want Jason Atkinson? Yeah,
okay.
Good.
That one really wasn't as... I mean, it was a penalty.
It changed the entire first game.
That's the thing. But then again, if his leg doesn't slip out, he makes a good check.
Right.
No one's questioning it. And I feel like just because he's that young, he gets a lot of criticism for that.
Right.
Because we don't know that much about him, so that's like the glaring thing about it. Scott Hartnell does it. You say, damn it, Hartnell.
Exactly.
And then you kind of move on. I mean, you can still, complain and moan about it, but I feel like he's getting more. He got more criticism for that because there's less.
Yeah, there's an immaturity fracture.
Right.
I mean, the guy going out there and the confidence of the fans.
Definitely.
Ties the game up. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, you couldn't bench him after that game.
Oh, right.
Because benching him just really destroys the confidence, saying, your accidental penalty of when you slip is pretty much going to kick you out of the lineup.
Yeah, and he ends up tying the game. It was huge for Philadelphia, huge for Atkinson's confidence. It's 2-2. Then with 8:45 left in the second period, Luke Schenn, of all people on the Flyers roster, scores on a rebound while there was a delayed penalty call, too. So the Flyers were aggressive, kept on going, because we saw game 1 on the delayed penalty. I think it was Couturier ends up getting a penalty. All of a sudden, it's a 4-on-4 instead of the Flyers' advantage. But now, they kept on playing. Luke Schenn scores, 3-2 Flyers. And the rest of the period was all Ray Emery. 17 saves in the second period, doesn't give up one goal. Emery finishes the game saving 31 of 33 shots, which we're going to be talking about Ray Emery. He was just recently announced the starter of Game 3. Yeah. I want to talk to you a little bit about before the announcement.
Okay.
Do you want Emery or Mason? We're going to talk about that. We're going to try to get the phone callers to call in about that, see what their opinions are. So the Flyers, after the second period, lead 3-2. Then the game back and forth throughout the third period. Nothing really happened until the last 30 seconds. Wayne Simmons takes control, going from one side of the ice to the other, scoring on an empty netter, making the Flyers leaders 4-2.
Made a nice play, too. Getting Rangers defender, I can't remember his name, just hounding on the entire time. And then he banks it. No, he passes it to someone around like the red line, I think. Gets a pass back with someone pretty much on his back.
Yeah, and he takes a nice shot. And I mean,
from outside
the Rangers were in the Flyer zone. So that was huge. Not only did Simmons clear it,
he killed it.
He killed it. He killed the game. It was 4-2. Flyers win. The Flyers will now come back home at the Wells Fargo Center tomorrow night for an 8 p.m. puck drop against those New York Rangers. Now, 4 minutes left in this segment. Before we're not going to be talking about the whole Emery Mason thing. I'm saving that for the next segment so we can have 20 minutes of this debate about
just pure
do you go
with
the hot hand? Do you go with the number one goalie? There's going to be a lot to talk about. But right now, Tom, how important was this game yesterday?
Game 2? Game 2 is... I was on with Ross DiMattei last Thursday. He was a lot more relaxed. He thought, even if you lose Game 2, we still have 2 games in Philadelphia. I was not as confident as he was.
No, I agree with you.
It was... I think the monkey is now officially off their back, the Madison Square Garden thing. There's no more 9-game losing streak. And in those 9 games, The Flyers had scored no more than 2 goals. So they shattered that. They win the game. And like you said, they took momentum. But momentum is a very fickle thing. It swings and sways. And, coming out of game 1, it was a disheartening third period. And the momentum was in New York's favor. It was, you can't win in the Garden and all that crap that's building up. And Berube was getting criticized for the dump and chase kind of style. He tweaks up some stuff, and Flyers come out of game 2. It was huge. Really, the thing that was the turning point for me was Jake Voracek's goal in the first period. They had the worst lead in hockey, 2-0, and he really goes pretty much coast to coast and shows his speed and makes a nice Bo Dangle dirty move.
Yeah, because I'm saying when the Flyers were down 2-0, I'm sitting there just saying game's over.
Terrible.
Now it's going to be 2-0 in this series. Jacob Voracek lights a fire for Philadelphia, and as cliche as that is, he lit a fire because all of a sudden the Flyers, 4 unanswered goals for Philadelphia, which I think is the biggest part of this game. Not only did you come back and win, you have 4 unanswered goals right now, and you're going into game 3 hot. You're not just coming into Philadelphia. You didn't just end this 9-game losing streak, which I know the whole 9-game losing streak must be in the back of everyone's mind. It's in the back of every fan's mind, player's mind. I don't care about that. It's playoff hockey. It's the playoffs. Right. It's a clean slate. I don't care about the whole 9-game losing streak, no matter where you're at. The Flyers go in there, win, tie the series, 4 unanswered goals, go into game 3 at home, hot. I think that is huge for Philadelphia.
A lot, yeah.
And there's still guys, the guy, Claude Giroux, still without a goal. They didn't even get a shot off in game 2. If this guy can score a goal, all of a sudden this series is completely different. The series is already different after that big win.
Well, right now the Rangers are playing really well. I think he played a lot better in game 2. He was a lot more physical. His passing was a lot better. He was checking a lot of people. He was playing hard. There was one player, he hit a guy, looked kind of like it could have been interference if it was a regular season game, and falls on him, kind of hangs onto his stick. There's some little sneaky, as the British would like to say, cheeky play. But I like it out of him. And the one thing about the Flyers is that we don't necessarily need Giroux to be our number 1 goal scorer for us to win. We have 7 guys with 20-plus goals of the regular season, so offense isn't necessarily a one-dimensional thing for the Flyers. But when he does score,
he's your captain.
It's over. It's over. He kills it when he scores or gets a point. And the Flyers the record's. It's really shocking.
Right.
It's like we have 4 or 5 losses when he scores.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. So getting him involved would be great. One guy I really want to see get involved more is Wayne Simmons on the power play. I really want him to be pretty much Henrik Lundqvist's worst enemy. I don't care if he's saying mean things about his mom or something.
Right.
He really needs to find a way to screen him, get in his way, just aggravate him, because Lundqvist is one of the better playoff goalies in the NHL right now. Arguably up there with the best.
And he's tough against Philadelphia.
Exactly. He plays against Philly.
Another reason why this win was so huge for Philadelphia.
We had 25 shots on goal this game, 10 more than game 1. Better, it's an improvement, but really the Rangers had around 33, I think, for last night or yesterday. The Flyers need to get into the 30s for shots on goal, especially against Henrik Lundqvist. You just need to keep getting more shots and put pressure on him. Don't let him breathe. Make him work for the saves. Make him move left to right. And in the third period, if he's facing 32 shots going into the third, or to the end of the third, and he's been moving all around, he's going to get tired.
Right.
That's when you strike, when he's dead tired, and you can take advantage of him.
Right, and you mentioned the shots on goal. The big second period that the Flyers had, they only had 9 shots.
9 shots for 3 goals? 2 goals.
2 goals. 2 goals in the second period. They had 9 shots, whereas the Rangers had 17, and Ray Emery just had a great game. And that's what we're going to go into. We're going to go to our first commercial break. When we return, we are going to be talking about the Ray Emery, Steve Mason debate. Who you think should start? We have word that Ray Emery is starting Game 3 tomorrow night at the Wells Fargo Center. But we got to talk about the rest of the series and what to come. If you guys want to call in at 215-204-9449 or tweet us at TU Talks Philly. We want to hear what you guys have to say about the whole Ray Emery, Steve Mason debate. You're listening to Temple Talks Philly here on Whip Radio, Philly's #1 college radio station.